Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nadhirah Binti Manab from Faculty of Sports Science and Recreation, University Technology Manab, Shah. So today I would like to present my research, which is the relationship between motivation and stadium environment factors on football spectator attendance at Shah Alam Selangor Stadium. Background of study. As you know, football is the most major sport in Malaysia. Football Association of Malaysia, or also known as FAM, is the organization that is responsible for all football in this country. Next, Selangor FA is one of the professional and successful teams in Malaysia. This team represents for Selangor State. Meanwhile, Stadium Shah Alam is the main stadium for Selangor FA and home of Selangor FA. As you know, supporters and spectators are playing an important role in the sport industry and the success of sport team. Based on Ryan and Desi, 2000, motivation can be defined as to be inspired to do something or to feel a desire or an inspiration to act. Meanwhile, Gumrash, 1999, said, stadium experience is considered as original in the field of spectator sport as compared with experiencing it via media. Problem statement. In 2018, the ground number of spectator attendance has been reported during the Malaysia League. Based on the statistics, it was disappointing because 6 of the 8 venues for the opening game of the Malaysian Cup were attended by less than 3,000 spectators. Stadium Shah Alam is one of the venues that has been received the spectators less than 3,000, which is 1,116. Research objective. First, to identify the motivation on football spectator attendance at Shah Alam Stadium. Second, to identify the stadium environment factors on football spectator attendance at Shah Alam Stadium. And lastly is to determine the relationship between the motivation and stadium environment factors on football spectator attendance at Shah Alam Stadium. Literature review. First, motivation factor. It has a few motivation factors. First is socialization. In sport event, this is the opportunity to interact with family, friends, and other fans. Next, performance. A good performance obviously can increase the number of attendance to watch the quality of the game. Esteem. The spectator who is watching the game likely to experience feeling of self-esteem, self-fulfillment, and reputation. Diversion. The spectator choose to watch football match because they want to escape from work and all daily life routine. Fan motivation. Several studies examine the attractiveness. The attractive variable is the presence of star player on the team. Identification with subculture. During sport event, a spectator who comes together will share a belief, common fact, and value. Next, promotion. A good promotion obviously can attract and influence the people to do, use or attend something. The function of promotion is to establish the image. Entertainment. People choose to attend the football because they want to entertain themselves and release their stress. Pricing. Price has negativity and statistically significant effect on attendance. Next, stadium environment factor. First is desire to stay. In the match game, the spectator enjoy the game and like to stay at the stadium. But this depends on the performance. Stadium parking. Sport and entertainment around the world have known the importance of atmosphere and anticipation to keep audience entertained and engaged. Stadium cleanliness. According to restraints, attendance demand attendees demand a high level of cleanliness in the stadium physical environment regarding the standard of hygiene and sanitation. Next, fan control. Some fans prefer to behave defensively or aggressively according to the strength of rivalry. Service. To attract more people attending a football match is by providing good providing food service because food is one of the attraction and basic needs of people. And lastly is crowding. Crowding can be happening when too many people at the same time during ceremony or match. Research methodology, research design. The design used, the research design used is quantitative method and non-experimental design. The data collected through survey method by through a questionnaire, and the respondent is the spectator who attends Selangor match at Stadium Shah Alam Selangor. Sampling technique. Uh, use convenient sampling. The sample is random sampling method. The questionnaire is distributed by Google Form because of COVID-19 situation, and the total of sample size is 130. Instrumentation. The questionnaire consists of three, which is demographic profile, motivation factor, and stadium environment factor. For demographic profile, uh, it has age, gender, marital status, race, and estimate travel time to watch the game. Motivation factor by Sundu Matiza 2011. This section contains 33 items and the lighted scale is 5 point. Lighted scales from strongly disagree to strongly agree. Stadium environment factor is from Brian Lenhart 2017. This section contains 20 items and use 5-point lighted scale from strongly disagree to strongly agree. Data collected procedure. First, distribute the questionnaire to the spectator who had experience attend Selangor match at Selangor Stadium Shah Alam Selangor. 130 respondents will answer the questionnaire, and the questionnaire is distributed by through the Google Form because of the COVID-19 situation. Data analysis. Data will analyze use SPSS software program version 26. Inferential statistic and descriptive statistic is used. For inferential statistic, use Pearson correlation to investigate the relationship, and for descriptive, to identify the demographic profile and to evaluate the frequency, mean, and standard deviation. Research finding. Demographic profile. The highest group for age is among 18 until 25 years old with 105 respondents, and the percentage is 92.9, and the lowest is around 30 is among group 34 until 41 years old with 0 respondents. Gender. The highest gender is male with 93 respondents, and the female is only 20. Marital status. The most respondent is come from single with is 108, and divorce is the lowest with 0 respondents. Race. The highest race is come from Malay. The highest race is come from Malay, which is 111, and Chinese and Indian is only 1 respondent. Estimate travel time to watch the game. The highest score is 50 minutes to 10 minutes with 43 respondents, and the lowest is over 60 minutes, which is 15 respondents. Descriptive studies to measure overall factor of motivation factor. The highest score is identification with subculture with mean 3.98, and the standard deviation is 0.805, while the lowest is family appeal with 3.20, and the standard deviation is 0.958. Overall factor of stadium environment factor, the highest score is desire to stay, which is 3.91, and the standard deviation is 0.777, and the lowest factor is service, which is 3.07 for mean and 0.976 for standard deviation. The relationship between motivation factor and stadium environment factor. The correlation is 0.398, 398, 3, 0.380, and the correlation is significant at the 0.01 level, which is here. Discussion, motivation factor, the highest score meet is identification with subculture, which is 3.98, and the lowest mean score is family actor with 3.20. The highest score likely state is likely to agree. Based on, according to Milano and Celeduri, 2011, sport is a common language that can bring people together regardless of the history, origin, religious belief, or economic status. Stadium environment factor, the highest score me is to desire to stay with 3.91, standard deviation 0.77. Most of the respondents will slightly agree with the factor. According to Wakefield and Project 1994, the spectator found that where the spot was unpleasant, a relaxed and pleasant atmosphere like a stadium did not lend itself to the level of excitement. The relationship between motivation factor and stadium environment factor. There is a significant relationship between motivation factor and stadium environment factor, which is 0.318, and correlation is significant at the level 0.01 to 10, and it show moderate correlation. These two variables play an important role to influence more spectators to attend the stadium. This stadium factor can be seen as significant factor affecting the level of attendance and satisfaction of the spectator. Cited by Bittner 1992 and Wakefield 1996. While Halstead and Benford 1982 said people with low performance motivation are more concerned about the environment. And lastly, its conclusion, there is a positive correlation between the motivation factor and stadium environment factor. That's all from me. Thank you.